Mr. Henry Ford, the mass production of the automobile. Now, his dad was a farmer. His dad, William Ford, and his grandfather, they came from Ireland to settle. And then when Henry Ford was born in Michigan, and those were the times when factories, slowly things were expanding more towards the mechanical side. Farm was the main business for his family. His dad, William Ford, actually at the age, he paid his father $600 to buy a land from him to become a landowner. Well, nowadays things are different because kids want parents to give whatever they have for free, and they want to go and use all that money in cars and houses. But that just shows you the family that they were coming through, that his Henry Ford's father, William Ford, goes and buys land from his own dad for $600. Later on, at the age of 15 years old, Henry Ford gets a watch from his dad as a gift. And that's when he realized that he opens the watch, he fixes it, he puts it back together, he opens it, he did it so many times, and eventually he got famous in the town for fixing the watches. That's when he realized about his mechanical side, his engineering part of it. Later on, he did not want to stay in the farming business. His dad never stopped him. He realized that he's an engineer, and later on we see what he did with the mass production of Ford. It's a long story how he came up with the entire engine, how the whole thing designed, but it's pretty fascinating to know how intense hard work that these people did. So dad comes from Ireland, starts farming, buys a land from his grandfather, his own father, start farming there, does not stop his kid, even though it's the first generation here, and let him go for his innovation, the idea that he has, let him pursue that. So wasn't scared. Henry Ford wasn't scared of his idea that this is what he wanted to do. He was very patient because from the time that the idea took off, from the watchmaking to the time there was mass production of cars, and then later on the Ford company, it was a much longer time. So you see the hard work starting from dad, going over with Henry Ford, and then the multiple effect, the compound effect, by what Darren Hardy calls, with a beautiful book, The Compound Effect. I will highly recommend reading that book. But what he calls the compound effect took off. But the story started with his dad or his grandfather, all the sacrifices that happened there. Again, the same thing. He wasn't scared, even though his dad was a farmer and they had just come here, just started to settle. He still went his own way of mechanical side, didn't take the farming side. He was patient with his idea. Third, he started in early age of 15. Again, we come to the same thing. Early age, working intense hard, and not fearing from taking the bold step. Fourth person on the list is Frederick Meijer, the CEO who actually changed the Meijer company from thrifty stores to become one of the major companies, just like Walmart or any other major store. Meijer became one of the first major outlet, the pioneer of the current modern system that we have. Frederick Meijer, he started working in a grocery store with his dad at the age of 14 years old. He was the first employee for his dad's grocery store. His dad was a barber initially, and then he opened a grocery store from one profession to another. And then the son joined him. And later on, when his father, Frederick Meijer, died at, I think, about the age of 40 years old, that's when he became the CEO, and he literally changed the entire company to where we see them. Later on in 1986, they earned their Meijer title back from thrifty store. They changed it to Meijer, around that time. But again, you see at the age of same things, same attributes, working super hard. His dad was a Dutch immigrant who came, barber, started a grocery store. Son joins him at the age of 14 years old. So hard work started from dad, goes to the son. He carries on. He doesn't depend on the dad. He just keeps on doing his own things. After the dad dies, he takes over. So patience, intense hard work, early adapters, early starters, and not fearing from what's going to happen. Just went with his idea to the point when Sam Walton wanted to open the Walmart, he realized that Meijer was the pioneer of the storing system the way he wanted. So these are the main four common attributes I wanted to bring in through these three highly successful people. My friend, nothing can replace hard work in your life. I mean, if there was a physical form, if there's some way to guarantee your success, it is hard work. I mean, that is some way you can say all the things, but hard work means focus, intensity, creativity, repetition, being efficient. It's a combination of a lot of things that because you cannot work super hard unless you're really focused and you're really liking it and you're really into it and you really want to create something out of it. So super hard. Times are hard right now. The only companies that will survive or the people that's going to survive are the one who's going to work super hard, the one with the work ethics. This is something that we must, instead of waiting for the luck or the lottery to win or one of those things. See, those things don't happen. Even when people win lottery, if you look at them, and sometimes, we want something really, really bad in our life and we are not getting in, we are not even working hard for it, but we get it. And a lot of time you will see that happening to lottery winners. They get the money, but the same money causes all sort of chaos in their family. People get killed, they lose money, people lose houses, they turn crazy, turn into drug addicts. So sometimes when we don't work hard and even if we get sometimes something like that, and since we haven't earned it, it can have negative effects on us and we can become the icon of when people don't work, this is what happens to them. Or when people don't earn what they have, this is what happens to them. So instead of doing that, we must work hard. It is the only proven way of guaranteeing success. Ideas, all those things come later on, but whatever idea you have, whatever your concentration is, work super, super, super hard. Take care, guys. I will talk to you guys soon. Text me if you have any questions. You can visit me on my website, www.alwaysstrong.com. You can follow me on my Facebook page, Sam Waheed Khan, also Always Strong. You can follow me on my Instagram, Always Strong. Talk to you guys. Take care and work super hard.